about Red Dead Online. Can you play today or Friday? Did you say?
It's a Friday.
Okay. All right. So I have played. I didn't play yet today. So I played on Tuesday when it first dropped, and I I'm kind of like I'm blown away with how good this all can be. Like it's already good, right? But I'm kind of blown away with how good it can be, because that's kind of what I'm looking at. I'm looking at like the potential of it all. You have one of the most fully fleshed out single player campaigns that I've ever seen, really, overall. The story, just the story, right? I mean, it's got ridiculous layers. It's got well-developed characters. It's got high-quality voiceover stuff. It's got a really good dialogue and script. It's got all of that. And then it really just meshes really well with the gameplay. There's not a lot of degradation from the cutscenes to the actual gameplay. It's just all super stylized. So you got all of that. And to be totally honest, if that was it, it would have been well worth it, right? But then you come out with this online multiplayer component that is legit an entirely separate game in itself, and it's at no extra cost, but the microtransactions are coming. But but for just overall, no extra cost. I mean, when Red Dead Online I haven't even played all of the modes, but there are so many things to do in this game. Like my son was sitting there playing, because he hasn't even played the game yet. He hasn't even played Red Dead at all. Like he's such a multiplayer only type of a kid.
Yeah.
That he didn't even play the storyline at all. He would pop in and look at me playing it a little bit and go, "Oh, that's cool," but it wouldn't hold his attention. But when I was playing Red Dead Online last night, he literally sat here and we were like cracking up laughing at so many different aspects of what was going on. Like, like I do this thing like called Cowboy Serial Killer, where I just walk down the street and I'm just taking out everybody I see. I just go nuts. Like, I don't care. So we were doing that, and like a guy comes by and I'm shooting at him, and I hit him a couple times, and he doesn't have his gun out. He's got his lasso out. So he lassos my feet, and he's on a horse. He snatches me up by the feet and drags me to death with the lasso. It was awesome. I mean, the different predicaments that you can find yourself in within this open world is so like there's parts where bears come out. So if a bear comes out at the same time while there's an enemy, you could be dealing with two different threats at one time. There's a battle royal mode that's starting. I mean,
what?
Yes, there's a battle royal mode.
That's gonna be crazy.
Yeah, it's called what is it called? Oh my, what is the name of the mode? I should know it off the top of my head because I just wrote it up. It's called Make It Count, and it's described as a true test of resourcefulness in 2 game modes. Use nothing but a bow and a handful of arrows or throwing knives to be the last one standing with a gradually shrinking player area. There's nowhere to run. So you're not even using guns in this. You're only using arrows and knives.
And the crazy thing about the bow and arrow is it's real shaky in that game.
Yes.
You have to shoot quick.
Yes. So it's like, that's crazy, man. Like, and I mean, they have 5 different multiplayer game modes in addition to free roam.
Yeah.
So you got shootout and team shootout, which is essentially just like free for all in Call of Duty, and team deathmatch or whatever. That's pretty much what that is. Then you got the battle royal mode. Then you got Most Wanted, which is a tactical race. every kill that you get puts you at the top, pushes you up a scoreboard. But the closer you get to the top, the more points people get for killing you. So you're then there's a hostile territory, which is kind of like like the capture the flag type of stuff. You work in teams to control the land. You capture a territory to start getting points, and the team with the most points wins. Or you can win outright by capturing every territory. And then they have something called Name Your Weapon, and it says you demonstrate your personal specialty in this free-for-all or team-based match. The trickier the weapon you use to land the killing blow, the more points you get. So all of that on top of free roam, and this insane story mode they got. And as of yesterday, things were functioning really smoothly.
Yeah. And it needs to be said that if you paid attention to GTA Online, they added so much to that game mode with the raids and the heists and all of that stuff, basically. Right. Like, so, PvE events are going to be in abundance, most likely, in addition to this PvP type stuff. So it's, and the one thing that I think is very interesting about it, besides the fact that it's such a robust, interesting world, is in other games, particularly GTA, but in a lot of other games, the weapons get so overpowered that power creep takes a hold, and it can feel very unsatisfying. Because if you got killed by a rocket launcher in any game, it doesn't matter what it is, you didn't have a chance. It was just the getting of the rocket launcher, which usually isn't that difficult, right? It's not like Halo where it'll be in a specific spot and people fight over the spot, so it's this massive reward. That's kind of dead. People just have to pick the character that has the rocket launcher, or they buy the rocket launcher, or whatever it may be. Maybe it's an earnable rocket launcher in some kind of way, but usually not that big of a deal. In this game, you're fighting with knives and bows and arrows and lassos and regular hand cannons and shotguns, and the reloads aren't there for you to be spamming shots over and over and over, killing 400 people. You have to have gun fights, which is what a lot of people in a lot of games have been asking for. It's part of the reason Call of Duty Blackout mode is so popular, is because of the extra armor you get, and because of the way the engagements are, you actually get gun fights. You get to peek, you get to heal. Again, going back to Halo, feels a little more like Halo, where you had time to think, react, and outplay somebody, as opposed to regular Call of Duty, stuff like Destiny, stuff like Battlefield, where first person to see the other person is the one who wins the fight.
Yeah. I mean, man, I'm telling you, I was sitting there playing it yesterday. And I'm like, wow. I'm like, this is a lot, man, that they have put into this. I'm like, man, because so often we feel like a game has come along and they charged whatever they charged for it, and you felt like, man, was this really worth $79.99 if you got the special edition, or $99.99 if you got the ultimate edition? Was this really worth this? Dude, this is literally like 2 whole freaking games.
Yeah. Now this isn't the only game I play category.
Yeah.
Like, there are some people who only play Skyrim or Fallout 4 or
2K,
League of Legends or 2K. This is one of those rare games that this could be the only game you play, and everybody gets it.
Yeah, it's like, it's overwhelming how like much there is. Like, it's like, I'm like, whoa. Like, to nitpick though,
I was gonna say, what I heard, there was a not overwhelming component.
Yeah, to nitpick, what I would like is a better character creation. Yeah. Because it's not horrible, but it's very cookie cutter, template based kind of a thing. And with a game that has so much, just such a sprawling experience, I would like to be able to face sculpt and to make my person, taller. Don't just pick brawny, heavy set, thin, or athletic. I would like to kind of make different things in between and all that kind of stuff, even if it doesn't necessarily affect the skill level or the attributes of the character. Just from a visual standpoint, I would like to be able to do that. Also, every single character in the game that you can create, their teeth are really tough. Like
Yeah.
I'm flipping through the options. I'm like, wow, everybody? And I mean, is there nobody in the world? Like maybe I want to live vicariously through the people with perfect teeth in the game. You ain't gonna do that in
Right.
this game. You ain't gonna get
Yeah.
that. So I was like, whoa, but yeah, but it just outside of that, I mean, from a glitch standpoint, I didn't see a lot. Like I did see this one situation where you talk to this guy who's supposed to give you a job, and he's sitting on a bench and he's holding a piece of paper, and he holds the piece of paper and he takes his hand down and the piece of paper levitates right there. So a couple of things like that, but nothing like game breaking, nothing
Yeah.
like, oh well, they got to fix that. I didn't see a bunch of that, you know. I did see, well, one thing I noticed about was when I went and got this mission where I had to go pick up this bag of money and transfer this bag of money from one place to the next. And so people can interrupt your mission. So you can be in the middle of a mission about to transport a bag, and somebody can come along, kill you, take the bag, and they complete the mission and get the reward. So that happened to me. Like this game is a lot like 2K because in the neighborhood in this way, because if you are a singular person and you don't have a crew and you don't have a team, a pro-am team or whatever, some guys you go to the park with to play, you kind of in a bad way in 2K because people either not going to play with you, or if they do play with you, they're not going to pass you the ball. It's going to be tough, right? In Red Dead Online, if you don't have a posse, it's tough, man, because like I'm out here by myself trying to do this mission, trying to take this bag, and I got this this crew came around, and they were called the Paid Crew, PAYD. And I'm riding my horse down the thing and I see them coming, so I'm trying to get up, and they come behind me. The one dude shoots me off the horse, and then after the other guy shoots me off the horse, the bag goes that way. Another dude comes and picks up the bag, and then another dude they had up in the heels sniping with the rifle, pow, picks me off. So the bad part about it was every time I respawned right in the general area. I'm right back in the general area where this posse is still right there. So they killed me like 15 times because I kept trying to redo it, but I'm by myself. So it's like, okay, what do I do now? Do I just leave?
Right.
And you don't want to encourage the gamer to just leave the game because maybe I get so frustrated why I just turn it off. And that's not what you want.
You probably have to switch servers if you're getting
but
that.
I don't think.
But see, here's the thing. In most games, I'm totally against that, right? Because it gets to the point of griefing and all this other stuff. However, in a game where all you have is lassos and 6-shooters and rifles, all you got to do is get a crew. That's the, you know what I'm saying? That's the win condition.
But here's the thing.
Okay, I'm going to come back with my crew. And here's what I would say about that. That's the Wild West. That's what I think is the most brilliant thing about Red Dead Redemption is almost every point of contention with the game leads back to it being a good Wild West simulator. You know?
I agree with that. And I think it's almost kind of like in sports video games where there's some things that are not, especially from a competitive standpoint, like there's some things that people don't like about the game. They were like, no way in the world this guy should be able to make this shot. Nobody should be able to, throw this pass. But in real life, sometimes a guy can make that play, even though it doesn't necessarily make sense. Jimmy Butler, that was a bad shot. If you take that shot in 2K, in the NBA 2K League game, and you make that shot, people are going to be like, dude, that was a bad shot. I don't care if you did green that. The chances of you greening that.
Not if he's in TakeOver and that's his archetype, and the person guarding him is not a defensive archetype.
That's true, but that was not the case in neither of those in that situation for Jimmy, because that's not Jimmy's archetype, and Rondé Hollis Jefferson is a pure lock. So,
I don't know what's his rating, what's his badges looking like.
I'm not sure, but I think Rondé Hollis Jefferson is one of the best perimeter
tell us in the
defenders in
comment
the NBA.
section what Rondé Hollis Jefferson's badges are.
Yes, please, because he's a pure lock though. He is definitely in proportionately he'd be considered a pure lock. That's why he was on him. but that's what I'm saying. It's like technically that, I mean, like I said, if you take that shot in the NBA 2K League game, even if you make it, people are gonna be looking at you like, dude, what was that? But in real NBA basketball, it can happen. Same thing here. People want everything to go the way they think it should go because they think they have all the answers to the formula, but they don't like outliers. And the fact of it is, in real life, there are outliers.
Absolutely.
So I think that's kind of the thing there. But overall, man, the game is just on another level. It really is on another level. I mean, I would recommend. It's hard for me to find a type of gamer that I wouldn't recommend that game to. Like the only people I could say is like if you're really, really like squeamish about language and you're really squeamish about gore and that sort of thing.
Or if you just hate cowboys. If you just hate cowboys and shooting, then don't do it. Then you're into like, Splatoon or something like that. But if you play the regular, if you play the regular games that everybody else plays.
Yes, I can't imagine you not liking this game. Like even if you're in the military combat stuff, and you're gonna have to get used to the fact that you're not gonna have these all-powerful, world-destructing weapons. Even still, the same satisfaction from shooting and dropping a computer opponent is there.
Yeah.
I'll be weak. I'm rather unique.